We are here to book talk with award-winning author Dominic Carrillo, who's based in Sofia, Bulgaria, but is originally from Southern California. Welcome, Dominic, to the Author's Voice. Thank you so much for joining our platform and sharing your award-winning work with us. Dominic, please tell us a bit more about the book that you're going to share today.
Okay, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So the book that we're talking about today is The Improbable Rise of Paco Jones. And this, just a little bit about the story, is it's about an 8th grader named Paco Jones. And he is dealing with a bunch of typical middle school issues. He's at a new school, and he feels first of all, he's dealing with issues of identity. He's half white and half Mexican. And now he hasn't felt that much yet, but when he gets to this new school and it's a lot of wealthy students around him, he feels out of place, and he gets this crush on a girl in his class that he's feels is completely unattainable. But he ends up forming this bond with her because they both come from mixed racial backgrounds. And but along the way, there's just all these this bullying and teen romance and all this hormonal kind of craziness and weirdness of middle school that he navigates and makes his way through. But it's an underdog story. He's the underdog, and he kind of figures things out, and he grows along the way. He makes a lot of bad choices, which are kind of funny. Hopefully, that's part of it, is there's humor and in the way he deals with things. And that's basically it.
Great. It sounds like a fantastic young adult fiction book. Tell us a bit more about how you came to write this kind of book.
Yeah, it started off really with me teaching. I've been teaching kids since 1999. And so I started off with 4th grade, 5th graders, then 6th grade, then 7th and 8th, and actually worked my way up. I'm teaching high school now. But when I wrote this book, I was teaching middle school. And so I was kind of in that bubble of teenage, that transitional period, and it actually reminded me a lot of my experience. And so being a teacher, I had to read a lot of YA stuff for my own students, and I didn't necessarily like it all. And I was trying to figure out hey, what would I want to teach? What would I want to read when I was their age? And so I don't know if I succeeded with that, but that's how this book came about. Just being a teacher, seeing that, and then being reminded of my own experiences in 8th grade.
Have you written any other young adult fiction books, or is this your only one?
I have. So this one was kind of the spark that got me going. And then being here in Sofia, Bulgaria, teaching at an international school, I came up with this idea of a runaway, like a teenage runaway cautionary tale of an 8th grade girl who just is having some family issues and makes the impulsive decision and rebellious decision to leave and get out of town. And she gets on a train and ends up being this, not a Murder on the Orient Express thing, but something similar, and there's a chase involved and a lot of misunderstanding, but it's more of an adventure type of story. And actually, I have it right next to me. This is the original cover, and then the more recent redone cover looks like this, and it won the same award. It's the Sandiago Book Award for best young adult for the year.
So tell us a bit more about that award then. So The Improbable Rise of Paco Jones received the Sandiago Award. How did it come about, and when did this award get received?
Yeah, so the Paco Jones one, that was in 2017 that I won that award, and then this for The Unusual Suspects was in 2019. And it's a local based, San Diego County, Southern California. You have to be from Southern California, right, to be eligible. And when I found out that I was nominated in early 2017, I guess, I was so happy, because it's like, you write a book, you hope people read it, you hope people like it, but then, you need some encouragement along the way here and there. Sometimes you just hear crickets out there. So to know that, these judges that are made up of writers and editors, and former winners of the award, that they chose it, I was just honored. And I really think that what they gravitated towards were the themes, that these messages, they're like messages for young people in there, that I'm really trying to strike a balance between, here's the story, and crafting an entertaining story that moves well and works, and also having some kind of message. Usually it's something about identity and self-discovery, and coming of age, right? That whole like coming of age thing. And so that's what I think. I think the judges like that, and I think that's why I won. Actually, I wasn't there to receive it in person. I had to. My best friend was there to pick it up. He did the cover for Paco Jones, and so he went and picked it up, because I live here, and I'm teaching, so I couldn't make it.
Tell us a little bit more about the storyline of The Improbable Rise of Paco Jones. What exactly is the novel about?
So the novel is about when Paco goes to this new school. He's being called or labeled in stereotypical Mexican types of names, right? So he's feeling racialized for the first time, and he's uncomfortable with it. And it's not so much that it's a daily kind of painful suffering, but it's he's experienced it for the first time, and so he's kind of like, what's going on? And then he's also dealing with, he has a crush on this girl, and he's trying to win her over, but he's shy, but he uses actually this Romeo and Juliet project in class to kind of become friendly with her, and like build from there. And then there's this Cyrano de Bergerac thing where he's helping the studly guy that is really the boyfriend. And so it's kind of this triangle. And then he's also trying to make the basketball team. And so he's got this struggle where he's dealing with that, and a coach that's kind of racist. And I'm only laughing because it's, there's humor in it, but there's also like, obviously, some lessons in there, right? And it's subtle, and some of it is subtle, and some of it is really, like right in your face, kind of, the spectrum of dealing with racial, cultural identity issues in middle school, especially. And so I don't want to give away the end of the story, but in trying to win over this girl, Paco makes some bad decisions, but it goes to those middle school issues of peer pressure and trying to fit in, trying to fit into different peer groups, and he learns his lesson that way. And yeah, I don't want to give away too much more.
That's okay. That's okay. And let's go to that ultimate lesson then. So Paco learns his lesson. What's the lesson that you would like to transcend from this storyline into young adult readers' lives?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing is that middle school is difficult, and no matter what, you're going to deal with some kind of issues, just because there's teenagers that are trying to impress each other. They're trying to make each other laugh. They're trying to, gain on the cool scale, move up on, in the hierarchy, whatever it is. But that's going to be painful, and it's going to mean people are experimenting with, just being mean, and trying to, work their way up in the social ladder. And so that it's difficult. And even the romantic part is that the lesson is that I think adults would probably dismiss a a young innocent romance, holding hands, you know, kissing in the yard or something, in the schoolyard, like as nothing, and dismiss or condescend to kids that age. But those emotions are real, and it might not be, you know, true love or what, or something really serious, but it is significant. You know, it's really significant for kids that age. It's their whole world, actually. They're not looking beyond that. And so that's one of the messages, is, you know, kind of respect students of that, kids of that age, because what they're going through is serious, and they need some support, and they need to think through and kind of self-reflect. And then the biggest message is probably for Paco Jones is like, be yourself. You might get stereotyped. You might get all of these different, racialized stereotypes thrown at you, slurs thrown at you. But in the end, you got to figure out who you are, and be comfortable with that, and be happy with that, and not let the whatever the noise kind of brush off your back as much as you possibly can. I mean, obviously he confronts it at the same, he confronts it too, but he also, you know, kind of shows that in dealing with those kinds of issues, there's just a certain level of ignorance and meanness at that age that you have to, you know, push aside.
We really appreciate you sharing the details about your book. And once again, congratulations on winning the award. A shame you weren't there to collect it, but yeah, I'm sure you're quite proud of it nonetheless. So we look forward to the read aloud of The Improbable Rise of Paco Jones, which we will share with teachers here in the UK. Finally, can you just let us know whether or not the book is easily accessible for purchasing here?
It should be easily accessible. It's on Amazon UK. It's on Book Depository. It's on for school librarians. The school librarians you typically use to order books. It's there too.
It is always such a pleasure to hear the author's voice behind the children's books. Thank you, Dominic, for joining us on the ReadMaster for UK Teachers platform, home of the author's voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.